I'm going to oversimplify the topic of brain balance for a moment so we can really relate it to the game of basketball. But if you're not familiar with brain balance, what we're seeing in the scientific community is that one side of the brain can be so much more developed than the other side of the brain that actually causes issues. Issues like Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, learning disabilities, processing disorders, and other childhood learning and developmental issues. Now, when we relate that to the game of basketball, what we found when we're really looking at the coordinative side of the game is that there are issues of brain balance that we can see and that we can also fix. We gotta just get your brain to listen, or your body to listen. And so these are just, I'm giving you little exercises to give you some cures to that. Because anytime we can find an imperfection of our body where your arms have to interfere with each other, it can interfere with other parts of the game, other skills. See, without getting overcomplicated into it, here's what I want you to understand. If one side of your brain is more advanced than the other side of the brain, it is going to have impact on you coordinatively. So whether or not we're just talking about very simple movements in the game of basketball, such as being able to dribble on this side while handling contact on the other side, your hands have to have two separate jobs. And if you have a brain balance issue, you're gonna have turnovers and things that will happen out of that. I call it coupling. Your hands want to copy each other. It's what happens when you're very young. And so if this movement causes this to happen with your dribble, that's when a lot of times the ball is lost. Let's start off freestyle, through your legs, behind the back, whatever it is. Every time I toss to you, you tap it back. Not only do you have to be fast with your hands and quick with your hands, but you also have to be soft. But the ability to be quick with the handle, but calm enough to go right back to quick with the handle and pop is it. The most impressive thing about that is not the quickness of Kyrie, the ability to handle the basketball. It's not his ability to use his offhand. It's his ability to get the dodgeball back to me every single time, right? That's what made that really impressive. Most people just get stuck on the ball handling aspect of it, but the ability to be quick with the handle, but calm enough to go right back to quick with the handle and pop is crazy. It's almost like you'd have to understand and appreciate that, you'd have to do Matrix style slow-mo, where everything pauses and it's just like him giving this little graceful tap and everything speeds up again. Because that's really impressive. When you do that with a kid who doesn't have that, it's gonna be smack, smack, and the ball's going all over the place. And so now if you're patient enough with that, they'll start to learn how to be fast with the grace to tap it back. Without having to diagnose you of what side of your brain is more advanced than the other, all we want to do is balance it out. Now, what research shows is that if you focus on the weaker side of your brain, if you can simply strengthen that side of the brain, you're going to start performing at a higher level. And so what we want to be able to do is simply be able to put you in positions of testing out how good you can do a right hand action with the left, and then how good you can do a left hand action with the right. And whatever action is harder for you, that should be the side that you work on the most to balance out whatever is missing in your brain. Now these sound like over scientific types of things, but what we can do from the game of basketball is simply make sure that you're coordinated at that level. And so if you can simply perform one action on one side and get as close to doing that action on the other side just as well, now we're balancing out your brain as a basketball player. That's the type of stuff we're looking for when we're talking about advanced coordination and how that affects you in the game of basketball. Huh?
Oh, this is like a coordinator?
This is like advanced level coordination, trying to get them to separate their body.
Separating your body parts? Like, could you like do it with your feet as well? Like,
yeah, I mean, so this is like when I want to focus just on coordination, this is how I would do it.
Okay.
Where you know how people do tennis ball and they just say hey, everything's coordination, like hand-eye coordination. I don't do a lot of coordination in that way. If I'm in coordination, it's because that's literally what we're focusing on. So this is coordination training, but it's really more so brain training than anything else. Okay. Trying to get their body to separate the body parts. Yeah. Hey guys, this is Micah Lancaster with IPT, and yes, I am back on YouTube. If you followed me since the beginning, you know that YouTube is where I started. I've taken a short break, and now I am back. So make sure you're checking out our YouTube channel. Bryce and I are going to be posting new content literally every single week, and this is the content where you're going to find the most instruction and the most details possible. Make sure you turn on post notifications, and if you haven't already, it's time to subscribe now because new videos are coming and you're going to love what we're bringing to this channel.